Peace, everybody. Welcome to Three Spiritual Chicks.
Hey, hey, hey.
My name is Jazz, aka Jazz the Medium.
I'm T, aka Rose Red.
I'm Joy, aka A Joyous Connection, and we have a special guest today, who is Jess the Divine Hippie.
Welcome,
Peace.
welcome.
So I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about Jess. All right, my little segment here. I have some feedback, but I'm trying to make it work. Um, as a servant of the Most High, first and foremost, Jess the Divine Hippie is a mystical lyricist, a inspirational speaker, breath work and meditation guide, subconscious mind enthusiastic. Her assignment is to remind us of the power that always that dwells inside of all creation.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored.
Yes, Jess. I met Jess. As you guys know, I do music. So met Jess at one of the shows where we had to choose who we wanted to be on our team, and she came out there and she did her jizzle, and performed, and just her energy overall before we even got to perform, um, was one that we could not let up. And she's been family since then. She's an amazing artist, an amazing person, amazing mother. My kids always ask, where Jess at? I ain't seen Jess in a while. She got my kids to like meditation because when I say I want to do meditation, they don't be listening, right? So she got my kids to like it. So I really appreciate the Most High bringing her into our lives. She's amazing.
And I'm honored as well to have connected. Yeah, like Joy said, when we met before any music was ever even performed, we spoke and introduced ourselves to each other, and we just hit it off. We was talking about the moon cycle. I think it was a full moon that night, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we here." And yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm grateful to have been connected for sure.
Yeah. So, with bringing Jess on, she does, as I read in my little segment there, she does so much. Um, One of her services that she has. Let me shout out Divine Gang Gang. This her
Okay,
brand,
what's in
Divine
this
Gang
thing?
Gang. But she offers a lot of services. Considers herself as an oracle. All right, so Oracle, she be on it, she be doing her readings and things, but she was on social media one day and she was giving out um services for reprogramming of the subconscious. And I was like, oh, I ain't never heard of that. So, I heard of it, but I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and invest in this because I know I had some things subconsciously that I need to like release and work on myself. So I hit Jess up, and she just wanted donations, so I sent her the donation that was led to me to give her, and she sent my reading back. And I sent it to these ladies because I was like, "Ooh, y'all listen to this. This is I need this right now." So I sent it to them and they enjoyed it as well. So I said we have to get this on to kind of talk about the programming of the subconscious. And then also she does the meditations and things like that to speak on the meditations and yoga and all that great stuff.
So, just before we get started with the questions, tell us 5 fun facts about yourself.
You said 5 fun facts?
Mhm.
Okay, sure. 5 fun facts about myself. I'm a foodie. Okay. I'm a plant-based foodie though. But I love to eat good foods, good eats. Food has been a big struggle in my journey because I love to eat so much, but I love to find some good food somewhere. Like Joy said, I'm a mother. I don't know if that's a fun fact, but like I just love being a mom. My children are my heart and soul, and they are like my number one teachers. And what else? I rise at 3:30 in the morning to get in my practices that I need to before my children get up, in order to set my frequency every day. To some people, that's crazy, but it's necessary. What else? I'm an audiobook girl. I love to read, but I haven't been able to keep up with the physical books with life picking up as it has. And so I love listening to audiobooks in the shower, on the toilet, in the car, or whatever I got to in order to get it in. YouTube be my spot for my audiobooks. And meditation changed my life, and I will forever be a writer for meditation, an advocate for meditation. And I'm grateful to be able to speak about it today because I believe it's a gem that has been hidden for so long from so many of us. And yeah, I'm a yogi. That's it.
I definitely feel you on the audiobooks because I don't even listen to music in the car anymore. I'm always listening to a book.
Yes. I just said I'm about to go on a music fast and only tap into the books. The books, the guided meditations, breath work. Yeah.
Now, how do you do with doing guided meditations while driving?
I just keep my eyes open, but mainly just tapping into the breath and speaking life through the affirmations with the guided meditation. But yeah, it's definitely more than possible to meditate eyes open. Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that you say that because Joy actually shared a driving meditation with me. And baby, I was like, I don't know how I got to work. The first time I listened to it, I don't remember stopping at lights. I don't remember going in and out of traffic. I got to work and was like, okay, how did I get here? So,
Yeah.
but I
Thank
had
God
my
for
book
muscle memory.
open and I was paying attention, I think. But yeah, that's my first time ever doing a driving meditation. I think I did a short one, but it just had me in that, like in that zen, that peace for the whole drive. To where,
Yeah,
I literally was like, how did I get here? Like I looked
that's
up. Word.
that's the life right there. It just allow the body to do what it's gonna do while you in the zone. Mm-hmm.
She forgot the part where she said, "You know what? I ain't doing that no more."
Why you always gotta tell on somebody? Sheesh. I did it a
Well, the
couple more.
spirit got you.
I did it a couple more times, Jess. But yeah, after that, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's just working on that control. But see, that's why you here to help reprogram the mind. Because I have some questions. Okay, but we
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
get into that later. But yeah, I did it a couple more times after that. But it freaked me out a little bit. The
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah, it will. I understand that. And I want to add to another way that you can do meditation, eye open, walking or driving, is just being present, like taking in, what's around you, the trees, the colors, noticing the sounds of the cars, it's really all about being present in that moment. Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna help, minimize that road rage, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I done came a long way with the road rage.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting perspective to look at it. So what was the catalyst for you that sparked you on the journey?
Yes. So my personal hell on earth was definitely the catalyst. 2019, 2020 is when I really had my biggest spiritual awakening. And I experienced a divorce. Y'all know COVID came through like a windstorm during that time. So the frequency was wild. And then I was pregnant at the same time as I was experiencing my divorce. And I just fell into a very deep depression. I had my daughter and I experienced severe postpartum depression, chronic anxiety. I used to have panic attacks very, very often. And I had already had my son. So I was a new mom to a newborn and a 6-year-old at the time. And I was just a wreck. And I really got into a space where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I didn't think that I was worthy of even being a mom. And so I had to really surrender to something greater, like never before. And so that's what I did. I remember the day I fell on my knees after having a panic attack. And I was like, look, Spirit, I need you to step in, show me the way. I'm surrendering. I'm here. I need assistance because, baby, I may not be here much longer. And meditation was actually introduced to me. It was a gift from the divine through a podcast. I was listening to a podcast called The Kingdom Podcast by Justin Michael Williams. It's amazing. And he used to do short meditation segments throughout his podcast. And I had never heard about meditation, didn't know what meditation was. And I was like, what is this? I used to do them with him. And I was like, wow, I feel so different. I used to find myself crying, releasing. I used to find myself in a new state of peace. And I was like, this is something that I need, and I need to tap in deeper. And so I started meditating every rising, and just connecting to spirit. I got pushed into a deep space of isolation. And so it was just me and spirit. And from there is where I was able to lean on, the greatest love of all and transform with meditation as one of the things that I use for healing. And it helped me to heal through chronic depression, anxiety, but most importantly, build a deeper connection to source.
Okay. What would you say, what are some of the techniques that you use when it comes to meditation that helps you for, like, I know we've had a segment that we talked about meditation on the show before, but what is some techniques that you can provide or help us for those who struggle?
Sure. Yes, for sure, because it is definitely a process. We're used to, ripping and running all day. So being still, the body's like, this is something we don't do, right? And I hear a lot of people saying it's hard to get the mind to quiet. And so for one, I want you to know that it's okay for your mind to not be quiet. It's a part of the process. Just keep showing up. The mind is going to continue to race, okay? But just show up and sit through the meditation. But some techniques, always start off by connecting to your breath. Breath work is the foundation for meditation. Simply, deeply inhaling through your nose, holding it for 3 seconds and releasing from your mouth as many times as you need to in order to feel in your body, in order to feel present. Also, one of the things is called a mental gym. So every time you do go to meditate, implement the same routine so that your mind can start to recognize that you're about to go into a meditative state. So it could be a certain frequency you listen to every time. It could be a certain incense smell that you burn, a picture that you look at, a song that you listen to, that will start to bring the mind to recognize, okay, it's time to slow down. The body is time to slow down. And also starting off with guided meditations. So I started off listening to Londrelle. Y'all familiar with Londrelle?
I am.
Amazing. Okay. So I listened to Londrelle's guided meditations. They're still on YouTube. I've been posting some on my YouTube channel as well. But yes, they help you to stay present as he's guiding you through, and speaking affirmations as you connect to your breath and as you implement the intention that you want to have as you go into a meditation is also a way to help you with getting in that space, because our words are so powerful. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, okay? Not a lie whatsoever. And so when you implement your own frequency, when you try to meditate, it helps your body, mind, and spirit to really hone in on what it is that you are calling into that space. And so that's definitely a tip to utilize as well. What else? For those who say that they cannot sit still, go out in nature, walk, do walking meditations. You don't have to sit to do a meditation. you can connect to your surroundings. I like to play a game with my son, and I'm glad this came up because we need to be playing that game some more. We haven't played it in a minute. But our children are going through severe anxiety phases. Everybody is dealing with anxiety at this point in life. And so one of the games that I play with my 11-year-old is we will slowly count objects around the room, not embodying, but allowing ourselves to absorb and really sit with the shapes, the colors of what we are seeing. And whoever counts the least amount is who wins. And it really slows down the mind and the body. And so you can do the same in your environment or outdoors with nature. Nature is always healing. Or you can meditate in the shower, in the bath, and connect to the element of water, which is very powerful. So there's many ways to get started. It's all about just, figuring out what works best for you. There's not one right way to meditate whatsoever.
I'm glad you mentioned the hidden gem. I haven't heard of that one before, but it makes sense though. It does make sense. It's almost like reprogramming of your mind.
Totally. Yeah, it is.
You're focusing on one thing. If you're doing that constantly, repetitively, each day, your body automatically is going to automatically start like, okay, it's time to get into this space. So I haven't heard of that, but that's a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just like muscle memory. And I'm glad you said that, because when you spoke that, it made me also think of mantras, utilizing a mantra during your meditation, which is you speaking aloud, like I said, affirmations, but it could just be a set, I release to receive. And you say it over and over, or you can play it over and over mentally in your mind, but that helps you to focus on something, and it helps you to set your intention and to be present. So mantras are very powerful as well.
Yeah, I gotta tell y'all a story about when I meditated with Jess. She came over here with my husband. Y'all, this was, let me see if I can explain it right. He had us to breathe in, hold for like 5 seconds. It seemed like it was 30. And then release, and then hold at the bottom. Like I can hold at the top, but hold at the bottom, I felt like I was gonna die, y'all. But it did help me focus a little bit more on the meditation and the breath work when I did it. But I was like, Lord, I don't know if I can take it. I'm gonna have to take a couple deep breaths after this. It's another one you did before, Jess. We didn't get to do that one, but it was the each nostril.
Yes, alternate nostril breathing. Oh, powerful. One of my favorite breathing techniques for sure. We can do it tonight.
Y'all want to try that? Yeah, let's try.
I'm down. Long as if it's gonna put me to sleep, we might need to do it at the end.
Yeah, whenever y'all ready. It's definitely gonna put you in a space of zen quickly.
Well, see, I don't know with that. Yeah, we might do that at the end, because the way how we be medium shipping, somebody might be trying to come through. So we can do that at the end. We can do that at the end.
Look, we're not trying to medium shit tonight, okay?
I thought about that. Now, hold up, wait a minute. But it's interesting that you say that, because when I'm doing a mediumship reading, the easiest way for me to tap in is doing a 5 count breath. So breathe in for 5, hold for 5, breathe out for 5. And I'll do that about 2 times, and then someone's coming through. So it's interesting, that you mentioned that. Yeah, so with the breath work. So question for you, with your reprogramming of the subconscious mind, is the meditation and the breath work the foundation of that process?
Good question.
With the reprogramming of the subconscious mind, I believe just being in a space to where you are used to syncing mind, body, and spirit would definitely help with the reprogramming of your subconscious mind. But I do believe that you can reprogram your subconscious mind without having to be in a meditative state. But real quick, because what you said is very powerful, about how you tap in to higher realms quickly through your breath work before mediumship happens, right?
Mhm.
And that is so interconnected because one of the things I like to call our breath is the highway to source.
Mm.
And spirit comes from the Latin word spiritus, which literally means breath. And it's like when we connect to our breath, we literally connect to that energetic force that breathes life into all of us. And so that does allow you to elevate and ascend to different realms. And, you know, you can stay there and not be grounded sometimes in life. But yeah, it's definitely intertwined. And that is so powerful. That's amazing. But yeah, so the reprogramming of your subconscious mind can be done through repetition, because that's how the programming was done initially. This repetitive reinforcement as children, from our parents, from our teachers, from, you know, things we see on TV, from music that is programming. And so now being in a meditative state does, I believe, enhance just how quickly the reprogramming can happen. But I believe, and I just think that because you're more aware, like you're opening yourself up to really tap into what it is that needs to be reprogrammed initially, right? So I think that's important. You know what? It is the freaking foundation. That's important because you have to be aware of what needs to be reprogrammed, right? Before you even start the reprogramming. So yes, tapping into breath and meditation really allows you to be present and sit with self so that you can hear the thoughts, so that you can recognize the patterns and the habits that come up throughout your meditation session, and just the enhancing of your awareness that happens when you meditate allows you to be more aware when you come back to this reality in your day-to-day life, and you can recognize your patterns more easily and you can start to reprogram them. I hope that made sense. I think I was a little all over the place. 222. Okay, 222 being the number all day.
You're fine. I understood what you were saying. I'm as you're talking, I'm just trying to think of how I can apply it right now to a certain situation. Joy, don't even start laughing. Um, so that's why I asked that question because yeah, I can be very stubborn, and I had an idea of how something was going to go, and the picture appeared and it's not what I expected. So I gotta really get myself together, as a part of the conversation before we started recording. Yeah, my spiritual team, I'm hot with them right now. So I gotta reprogram my mind to accept what they're telling me because I'm like, nah, that's not what we discussed. So yeah, I have questions after we go offline. Once we go offline, 'cause
Sure, for sure.
So, Jess, if you don't mind, I know we've already kind of spoke on the reprogramming of the mind, but can you explain what reprogramming of the subconscious mind is?
Okay, sure. So we have our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, and our unconscious mind. And our subconscious mind are the things that are dormant that actually have the ability to be responsible, not have the ability, but is responsible for 95% of our responses and reactions in the reality. And so a lot of the times, most of the times, the way that we show up in our day-to-day life is through our subconscious mind conditioning, which is done by age 7. So the first 7 years of our life is when the programming of our subconscious mind occurs. And we have been replaying that same script over and over and over, whether we recognize it or not. And so when we understand who we are and we recognize our power, whenever that happens for us along our journey, we can see that we have the ability to change how we show up in the world. And better understand why we may be lashing out in certain areas of our life that may not require it, but is because of something that happened when we were 5, that has programmed us to respond to certain stimuli in our environment. Something as small as a smell can trigger our body to respond in a specific way based off of past trauma. And so when we recognize these patterns and just the stagnation in our reality, and the fact that sometimes we don't even understand why we are the way that we are, but because mama said so, or because that's what we were shown growing up, we can then choose to reprogram the subconscious mind, again, through repetition. So this could be done through affirmations. Affirmations are very, very big, very key, because the more that we speak it over our life, the more our subconscious mind picks it up. Our subconscious mind is also not aware if something has happened in the past, in the present, or is it's happening in the future. So it's also vital for us to utilize the power of our subconscious mind to manifest what we would like to occur in our reality now. So yes, it's vital to reprogram the subconscious mind. And again, repetition is key. And I would start the day off with those affirmations. I would speak affirmations throughout my day. If something pops up in your mind that you no longer want to believe, reprogram it right then, right there. Speak the opposite over your life right then, right there. Because a lot of the times our thoughts and our beliefs are not ours. They are external beliefs from our parents, from the traumatic situations that we've gone through that have been embedded within us and that we've just held within our DNA, literally. And speaking of DNA, even coming down from past generations, like we're having to reprogram all of that. And so, yes, but the beautiful thing about it is it's possible. And so once what you're wanting to reprogram, and what you're choosing to speak out of your mouth, once that has overpowered in number and just frequency, what it is that has been laying dormant in your subconscious mind, that's when you will start to see it shift in your reality.
Okay, so I have a question. With everything that you just said, if you had someone in front of you right now that everything is new to them, they don't know the breath work, they don't understand mantras, they don't understand affirmations, how would you tell them, where would they start? Like, how would you guide them to get them to begin to reprogram in their mind?
Mm. I would tell them to start by meditating 5 minutes a day. Start with meditating 5 minutes a day. And with meditation, consistency is more important than the length of meditation. So 5 minutes daily, meditate. And this will start to open them up to being more aware of what lies within their subconscious mind. And from there, I would also encourage them to start to speak affirmations over their life every day in the mirror work. And I would just start there. In journaling, gotta journal. Starting with the simple things of journaling. Who am I? What are my core beliefs? What am I passionate about? Getting to know self.
Okay. Yeah, I know my challenge is being consistent because I'll journal for a little bit and then I'll be like, all right, I'm done.
And that's okay though. That might be all that you needed to journal about that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think just having conversations with ourselves is important too when you're not writing in a journal. So a conversation with self is a conversation with source. So as you release, whatever could be written on paper, it's also just as powerful to get it out and let source respond.
Okay. So now I got a different segue of a question, right? So you mentioned just everything thus far. How do you, or what would you recommend for someone who is being challenged with anger and or forgiveness?
Yeah. Okay, so I would recommend them to write about it. Write about the anger, write about their forgiveness. Why are you angry? What's the deep root? And meditate on it as well. Like you can go into a meditation with an intention, with the intention. Once you get into a meditative state after your breath work, ask the question, where is this anger stemming from? And then write about it. Okay. And allow yourself to feel whatever arises throughout that meditation as a release. And then forgiveness. Back to the anger. After you write about the anger, fold it away from you, the paper, and burn it to release it and to expedite the releasing of that from your temple. It's the process, yes. I would encourage continuing to do breath work to help you to not respond and fight, flight, or freeze with anger, but to welcome in more of a peaceful response. And that happens automatically. That's something that I didn't mention when we spoke about breath work. When we tap into our breath with intention, our breath is automatically connected to our nervous system. And so we are able to reprogram the nervous system and how we respond to our reality. So things that may have angered us or pushed our buttons excessively before will start to naturally not have as much power over us. Okay, so meditate and ask yourself where the anger stems from. Journal about it and allow yourself to feel what arises. After you journal about it, fold the paper away from you and burn it to expedite the release. And then continue to focus on breath work and meditation for peace of mind. And then forgiveness. Forgiveness is always for us, never for anyone else. We forgive to release animosity, to release that energy that it could block us receiving joy and pure happiness. Forgiveness is not about excusing anything that has happened. Forgiveness is not about welcoming or allowing the person or experience that you are forgiving to come back into your reality. Forgiveness is merely so that you can release whatever built up energy that is keeping you in a space of resentment and in a space of anger throughout your day. And so I always say go into welcoming forgiveness in your life for the sake of you, so that you can make space to receive more of what it is that you truly deserve. And so I will write a forgiveness letter as well. I will write a letter of forgiveness. Allow yourself to feel through it, trust whatever arises, and fold it away and burn it up. And then just continue to hold space for yourself, hold grace for yourself, and then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Mm-hmm.
So for that forgiveness letter, that's to the person that you need to forgive, right?
Yeah. You can write one to yourself too, though. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it could just, and I'm just feeling like to say this, but when you write a forgiveness letter to yourself, it's not necessarily you excusing, or taking the blame for anything, but forgiving yourself for maybe holding on to it for so long, because you deserve to experience better and you deserve to hold space for better.
So reprogramming of the subconscious mind, it's very similar or sounds similar to shadow work. What would you say will be the difference between the reprogramming and shadow work, or would they be one and the same or go hand in hand?
I definitely think they go hand in hand, because as you meditate, you're able to recognize, in that space of presence, you're able to recognize what it is, that needs to be healed, that needs to be addressed. Whatever comes up in your meditation, literally, is something that needs to be addressed, or felt, or revisited. And so the shadows will come up. And that's why many people don't stick with meditation, or they don't allow themselves to sit in it, because it can be very emotional. It can be a space where you really have to, sit with your shadows and face the things that you may need to go back and say, okay, yeah, that's something that I need to work on. That's something that I kind of was in the wrong for, based off of just my awareness at the time. And so we do have to honor and be accountable when we go through meditation and allow our shadows to arise. And so the process and the things that come up through meditation, and a lot of times are things that we do need to do shadow work on or with. And so shadow work, though, is the actual process of taking the next step to, implement the things in our lives to grow, to do better, to honor those shadows and not run away from ourselves, but nurture ourselves and recognize where those shadows come from. No one is perfect, and perfect doesn't even exist. And so I think that's a big thing that the world struggles with, is accountability and looking at self. And so when you could get into a space where you can look at self and really recognize the things that you need to heal from and grow through in order to be a better being, not only for yourself, but for others around you, that's when the world is really going to shift drastically. We're working on it, but yeah. And the shadow work, I think, would entail a lot of journaling, a lot of really getting to the deep aspects of, or just the deep knowing of what the shadow is, where it stemmed from, because a lot of times it can go all the way back to childhood, most of the times, but also just recognizing how you've allowed the shadow to continue to show up in your day-to-day life as an adult, in past relationships, and just how you have shown up for yourself or lack thereof. And yes, I do think they go hand in hand. I be feeling like I be going on and on and on and on.
No, you fine.
You got so much information.
Right. So I have a question to take on the other end, and this is, some of these questions are coming from Jazz. She's still having technical difficulties, but she's still here with us.
Hey, Jay.
So one of the questions was, okay, we talked about, how to get through anger or forgive, doing shadow work. But on the other end of things, can you give an example of how you reprogrammed your subconscious mind to manifest something into reality?
Yes. So, okay, there are a few things. The first thing that came up, there are different methods that you can utilize, which entails repetition. And one of them is the 3-6-9 method. And so one of the first steps of manifestation is bringing it to the reality of the 3D world, right? So, writing it down is the first step of manifestation. You got to write it down or create some type of vision board, something physical that you can see, that is here in this realm. And so the 369 method entails you writing it down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times in the evening. And this just keeps it present in your mind. And your mind doesn't know if it's happening right now, later, or the future, but it'll catch up with you. And something else came up when I was saying that. I'll come back. But yes, and writing it, that's what it was. Writing it as if it has already happened. Okay. So you must write it as if I am so grateful that I am living in my new home with my 4 bedrooms, being specific. Specifics are very important when manifesting, because I done manifested stuff and left some things out that I should have put in because I want to send the manifestation right on back. But you have to be specific when you manifest, okay? And envision it, okay? You have to see the manifestation. So in meditation, you can bring to mind's eye what it is that you're looking to manifest. And the key thing when you meditate in a manifestation meditation, you want to feel what it feels like for that to have already manifested in your reality. Our feelings, our emotions are like signals to the universe, like literally frequencies and energy that is sent out that allows things, that allows us to attract things. We're magnets. And so being in that feeling is very important. And if the longer you can stay in that feeling, the better, the quicker it'll manifest.
So with that being said, what was one thing that you manifested and everything was right, like you didn't want to send it back? Can you give an example?
Yeah, sure. So one time I manifested $5,000 in my bank account. This was when I was, and I'm still a single mom. I don't know why I said it, but I was struggling financially, me and my children, and I was just writing like, I'm financially free. I now have $5,000 in my bank account. I'm so grateful for the $5,000 in my bank account, and it came within 30 days, and I wasn't expecting it. And yeah, I was like, okay, this shit worked.
You shocked yourself, huh?
Can we curse on here?
You can cuss.
Well, after, but yeah, that is one thing. And when I did that, I was utilizing the 369 method and just being very consistent, and maintaining just like my frequency really. I think that's one of the hardest things to do, is to just like protect your peace and protect your frequency when you are manifesting, and not to get sidetracked. But yes.
So do you have a recommended time frame if you're doing the 369 method?
3 months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But manifestations can occur before then, of course. But yeah.
Joy, you have other questions on your list?
Let me take a look.
I just want to say we are definitely enjoying this. You are giving us a plethora of information, so we appreciate.
I
Of
am
course,
definitely
I'm
taking
honored to
notes
be
on you.
here. Grateful.
Taking
Yes.
notes. I don't have any more questions on my list. Did Jazz have any other questions?
She just dropped something in the chat. Let's see.
Okay, list.
Oh, so she was saying it's important to guard what you are manifesting. Don't want the opinion of others to interfere. So I guess
Yes.
explain the importance of I guess what they call it, gatekeeping, or no, you just working in silence, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't share the vision. Don't share the vision.
Mm. Tell my husband that now. Just like
I'm gonna tell him because you said you weren't playing.
I'll be like, babe,
Yeah,
why you
yeah.
gotta be
It
posting
says
if
in
you got
scripture,
this?
keep the vision near and dear to your heart.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me find me one of these journals that I haven't written in. Start this 369 tomorrow morning. Along with you said 5 minutes of meditation. So see, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to tell them myself yet. I
No,
might
go
do.
ahead. Go ahead.
You said
No, because I want to assist you if I can.
no.
Because you
So
said 5 minutes of meditation. So,
yes, so Sierra be having experiences, right? So there are times when I meditate that beings from different dimensions come in, and I be like, oh hell nah, we ain't doing this. So then I just stop meditating.
mhm,
Um, and I also practice yoga, and I love yoga.
yeah.
However, there have been some experiences when after because I really use yoga because it helps relax me to go to sleep.
Mhm.
So it's interesting that you mentioned you wake up at 3:30 to start your day. If I'm up at 3:30, somebody waking me up want to have a conversation. Then I'm not trying to do
Mhm.
that right now. I want to go back to sleep. So for me, those experiences have brought in company from different dimensions. So instead of me continuing, I just stop. And it's not necessarily like, me like running from shadow work or not wanting to like quote unquote run from myself. It's just that fear, which I know is the wrong thing to say, of coming in contact with those things. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So what's your advice on that?
So let
So,
me just say, Tierra is extremely, and I'm pretty sure Jess, you can pick it up. She is extremely powerful. So, yeah, she be having those experiences, even with yoga. You forgot when you levitated, felt like you was like, yeah, she be having those experiences. So it makes sense.
yeah.
Any advice?
Have you ever sat through? Have you ever sat through a meditation when a being came in to see what their presence was for?
So in my experiences thus far, they don't come in while I'm meditating. It's like because I pretty much try to do them to relax to go to sleep. So it's like I do it before bed, and then when I'm in my dream state, or
Mm-hmm.
that's when they come in. Shit, I still got damn scars, spiritual scars on my arm now from when the last times that I had an encounter. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's most of the time it's been that experience. Um, Now, of course, also through after yoga and doing scripting, which I'm sure you're familiar with, type of journaling. That's how I was introduced to my spirit guides, and that's how I found out who they were. Um, but it's just something with that state from the meditation and the yoga. It's like I got other people want to communicate, and I'm just like I ain't trying to do all that. So um, that's what I've allowed to disrupt my consistency. Um, so any suggestions? Now watch it next time I try it. Somebody gonna come in and I'm gonna be like, Joy, what's Jess's number? Because she just said.
I'm like, and we cast them down, tell them to flee. Tell them you're not in a space to connect to them right now. And because of how powerful you are, they have to obey you.
Thanks to Jazz, I do know that. Definitely know that, but I'm just like, whoo. But yeah, even with So okay, I'm trying to get back on track.
Honor, your power and release fear. Like just cast down the spirit of fear as well. And then especially before bed, just like call back your power to you. Like call back your power from all densities, all dimensions, all experiences, all beings. And then speak a prayer over your state as you go into the dream realm. Calling your warriors, calling your warriors before you go to bed and have them surround you, your army of protection. I'm sure you lucid dream a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go.
Right now though, but understood. But understood.
All right, Jess has a question. It is, are you familiar with the universal law and how would you explain the law of mentalism in connection with reprogramming of the subconscious?
I'm sorry, but before I answer that, I was gonna say one more thing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sister Rose. Do you utilize protection crystals?
I have, yes. I actually got some on right now. Thank you, Joy.
Okay. Okay. So I was gonna recommend a black tourmaline under your pillow as you rest.
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that.
Okay, beautiful.
Message received. Thank you.
You're welcome. Covering you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. And then the spiritual law of what? I'm sorry.
The universal law. Are you familiar with the universal law and how would you explain the law of mentalism in connection with reprogramming of the subconscious?
Okay, so I'm not familiar with the law of mentalism. What's the law of mentalism?
So the law of mentalism is the power in the mind. You can do anything with just a thought.
Yeah.
It's, to put it simply, yeah.
Okay, and how I would connect that to the subconscious mind?
And the reprogramming of it.
Okay.
Like all is mental.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind yeah, so I would connect that to the reprogramming of the subconscious mind by one, recognizing how powerful the mind is, the first supercomputer for sure, and utilizing your mind power by, again, if something comes up for you, a thought, a vision, rewiring your mind by creating what it is that you would prefer for it to be in your mind's eye. And especially in meditation, visualization and meditation is extremely powerful because, again, the subconscious mind doesn't know if it's happening now, if it was in the past, or if it's supposed to be in the future. And so that will help with the reprogramming because your mind will try to create that in your reality now. I hope that answered the question.
It does. And of course, I just misunderstood Jazz's. Okay, so Jazz says the law of mentalism says the mind is all, and all is of the mind. There's a book called Kybalion that speaks about them.
Oh, okay. Yes. And like, yeah, is it? Oh, I can see the chat. Okay, yeah, the Kybalion. Okay, yes, I need to tap into that. That is on my list. Oh shoot. Okay, I got the chat there. Okay, yes. And we're everything like like I said, is of the mind. Is projection. So our reality is literally a projection through our mind's eye. And so when you are aware of that, you could then utilize your powers to create what you truly want to see through your first eye.
Okay.
One of the things, and this just came up, one of the things that I have adapted as a mental practice that allows me to implement my power here in this realm is just encompassing anything that is precious to me with a beam of light, a white beam of light. And it's sometimes my shield. So if I'm in a space where I am not wanting to absorb a lot of frequencies, or I'm in a space where I know it may not be the best energy for me at the time, I absorb myself with white light. If I'm away from my children, I surround them in my mind with a white light. If I'm driving on the road, especially when there's like cars speeding up behind me, I surround my vehicle with a white light and it repels vehicles from my vehicle. And yeah, that is one just testimony that I have in regards to just how powerful our minds are.
Oh, so I need to try that at work. Got it.
Mhm.
Keep everybody away from me.
Yeah.
Ooh. Only those that need to speak to me can speak to me.
Mm-hmm. And not into this force shell. It works for sure.
I'm gonna try that tomorrow. I'll put in the group chat, Joy, and then you can let Jess know how it went. Because tomorrow's gonna be my first day back to work. I've been off since the holidays, so
Okay. Well, Furman, you have a great day back.
thank you. I am because all is mine. So I'm gonna go in there and put my white light.
That's right.
Add a little bit of Reiki in there.
Yeah.
So you can leave me alone. Jazz, do you have any more questions? We usually go about an hour, Jess.
Okay.
Uh, but of course, if you have more, any last words, of course, I would like to try. If Joy and Jazz are down to do the breathing exercise, absolutely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
now, don't have me levitating on this live, okay?
Look,
But
I am just your guide. Listen to your body.
she like, I'm out of that. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, look, I'm trying to see you levitate though.
Oh, before we get there, Jess, if anyone is trying to contact you for your services, how can they reach you?
Yeah, sure. They can contact me through jessthedivinehippie@gmail.com, or DM me on any of my social medias at Jess the Divine Hippie. I'm updating my
Okay.
site, so my site's down right now. But I got y'all if y'all reach out for sure.
And are you all on all platforms?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm also on YouTube. YouTube, my channel it says Just the Divine Hippie, but it's also Channeling Divinity. I don't know which one you're supposed to look for. I'm still working through YouTube, but you can put in Channeling Divinity or Just the Divine Hippie.
Okay.
And her music is also on all streaming platforms too. Go
It is.
stream, Starseed, and slow life down for a while. Is it on there?
Neither one of those are out right now, but you can go straight. Look, Starseed was released, but I had to unrelease it because I'm still learning the ropes, and I had released it without following proper protocol
Oh,
in
okay.
regards to my contract with my producer. But the Abundance Mantra 888 is on all streaming platforms, as well as Never Clout.
Oh, Never Cloud. Hey, Never Cloud.
Chasing God, Never Cloud. And my music is all about empowering us and really, reminding us of who we are.
Now, Joy, which one did you share in the group chat? Was the YouTube video? Which one was that?
That was the reprogramming of the subconscious mind for that she did for me.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's dope. So I have been tapping into that. Appreciate that. That was
Beautiful. You're
I
welcome.
actually listen now. That I listen to on the way to work.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way that I reprogram my mind too. I used to listen to it. It was Wayne Dyer that I listened to at the time. Wayne
Okay.
Dyer. I would listen to him every night as I slept. And that's one of the best times to really tap into the subconscious mind when you're in that state of sleep.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
see
and
what
so
we do after this breathing exercise.
y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Jazz, are you ready?
I
Ladies.
get it for.
She says she's ready. She says she loves Wayne Dryer and Abraham Hicks.
Oh yes, 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 for sure. Okay. So for the alternate nostril breathing technique, we're gonna put down our middle finger and our pointer finger, and this is how our hands will look, or hand, your dominant hand. And I'll just show you really quick how we're gonna do it. We're gonna hold down one nostril as we inhale through the other, and then we'll hold both nostrils for a count of 18, and then release out of the alternate nostril while still holding down the one that you're not breathing out of. So,
All right. Hopefully I don't pass out. Okay, let's go.
and we're gonna do a set of
That's
3.
all I heard was hold for 18. Now I see why Joy was like, girl, I couldn't hold it. Okay.
I am just your guide. Listen to your body. If you need to release before, please do so. But the goal is to work our way up to 1 minute.
Okay.
But we'll do 18 seconds. Okay. All right. Spine
Like,
straight allows for fluid energy flow as we do breath work.
what's the hand motions? The
Sure. Middle finger and pointer finger down.
middle finger and okay, groovy.
And if you like, when we're holding the breath, you can tap your first eye with these 2 fingers in the middle to set energy there. Totally up. All right, here we go. So we'll start by holding down our left nostril and take a deep inhale through the right. Pull it up as far as you can. And hold both nostrils for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Release from the left. Deep inhale through the left. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Release from the right. Deep inhale through the right. Last one. Tap your first eye and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Release from the left nostril. And you can release your hand and go back to regular breathing. In and out of the nose. And feel free to do a deep inhale and a slow exhale.
All right. Yeah.
I thought she was frozen.
Sorry, Pierre. We didn't mean to mess up your meditation. Sorry. You good? Okay.
Oh, y'all couldn't hear me. Yeah, I'm good. That was, and I can breathe out my other nostril now.
Mhm.
Um, okay. That was amazing. Yeah.
I still feel like I was gonna die, but only on it. Was it this one? It was one of it. I was like, ooh. Uh.
You can tell when it was affecting me when I was like, okay, when I was struggling, I stopped tapping my third eye. Like, okay, let me sit here for a minute. Count. I can make it to 18.
Y'all did great.
Baby, I feel like so.
With that being said, thank you so much, Jess, for coming on. It definitely was a pleasure. We probably will have you back on because you have so much insight.
Absolutely.
If you'll be willing to grace us with your presence, we greatly
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
I would love to return, and thank you all so much for having me. And thank you for holding space for what you all do on your amazing podcast. Okay. It's necessary. And I honor each and every one of you and your gifts. And thank you for walking in them. So,
You know you're gonna make me
gratitude.
cry, girl, because me and Jess be having the same conversations I be having with y'all. She be motivating me, yo.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate that. And thank you
Mhm.
for joining us on episode 18.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Yeah, Tierra need to go ahead and check out because I literally feel like I'm floating. So, Jess, again, thank you for having us. Everyone, thank you for blessing us with coming to see us on episode 18 of Three Spiritual Chicks. And we will see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all. Thank y'all.